Hi, this is Chad from the WorkshopPress company in Kenilworth in Warwickshire. Today I'm going to run you through some of the features on our PPCM-50 special. This is the RHTC PPCM-50 special. It's special because it comes with the Cymatic control honor from Siemens. The standard press PPCM-50 doesn't have that controller on it, but the advance rate on both of them is the same. The control box is quite simple. Up on top here you have a green light that shows that the power is on, and over here there's a light to indicate any sort of failure, whether it's a power failure or a safety system failure. And then here you have two modes that are changed simply with this key. You got a maintenance mode and then an operating mode. In maintenance mode, the photo cells at the front, the light curtains are shut off, and the machine can only work in at 11 millimeters per second. When in operating mode, it goes full speed, and then you can select an automatic mode or a manual mode on the main panel. For safety features, you have photo cells at the left and right of the entrance of the front of the press. And then you have an e-stop on the main pendant, on the main control panel, and also on the main power box or main control box of the press. The press comes with 3 cylinders. The center cylinder is the drive cylinder, and the cylinder on the left and the right are guide cylinders to keep the slide table perfectly square at all times. On the bottom table, you can see that there's DIN 650 T-slots machined into the table. This is our standard configuration. Custom configurations are also available. And then in the center, you can see that there's a ejector piston right there. In addition, up on top, you have an analog manometer for tonnage. You have a safety light that indicates when the press is in operation. To turn on the press, you hit the main switch, the power light comes on, and you choose your mode here. And then you go to the front and you can see that now the LED lights within the working cabinet come on, which is nice. So you get a nice lit working area. The controller goes through some checks on startup, and then it goes into the main menu. The reset light always comes on as a safety feature. You hit reset and you're off and running. You can turn the press on right here. Now that the press is on, you can select your program. I selected program 1. You can see up here now it's got program 1 up there. You can name your programs alphanumerically, and each program controls the upper cylinder and the lower cylinder. The top value, where my finger is, that is the return position of the press. The second parameter is how far the top piston will advance before it goes into working mode. So at 200 millimeters on this program, it'll go into working mode and slow down. And then it'll advance to 230 millimeters. It is currently set to 30 tons, although it is a 50-ton press. And this time, right here, 2 seconds is the dwell time at the bottom of the stroke. It's in a pulse mode, which means that it's an automatic cycling mode. When you step on the foot pedal, it will do the full cycle. When you go down to the bottom, you got the lower cylinder, that is the ejector cylinder. And you can turn the ejector mode on and off in the programming mode. But for this program, it's set to advance up to 200 millimeters, and it returns to the home position of 0 millimeters. And it's set to 2 tons, although it can go up to 5, and then it has a 1-second dwell time. Currently, it's in manual mode. I'll put it in automatic mode. I'll step back. I'll step on the foot pedal once. Now it's cycling. It just went into slow working mode. It'll return to the program position. And now the ejector piston will come up. It'll pause for 1 second and return. I'll cycle the press again, just to give you a close-up of the controller as it goes through the cycle. You get a tonnage readout. The tonnage is low because there's actually no pressure being exerted on the slide plate. It advances to the program position. Now the bottom ejector piston is coming up. On the main control cabinet, we're in operating mode. But on the main HMI control panel here, you can select what mode you're in. So I'm going to put it in manual mode, and these parameters that we have in program 1 up here will hold true. Just that, when you step on the pedal, it advances, and you take your foot off, it stops. So now I went into work mode, and now to bring it back home, I have to step on the left-hand pedal, and it returns to the program settings. Now if I want to make the ejector move, I have to then put it in ejector mode, and the foot pedal operation is basically reversed. So that will go up to the program limit, and when it hits the limit, it stops. Then I have to hit the right hand foot pedal, and it retracts. Programming is quite simple. So now I'm in the program, and you can see here that you can go into each parameter and simply enter. It's just as easy as using a mobile phone. So it will return now to 25 millimeters versus the 25 millimeter position versus 50. If I wanted to go to 235, I'll back up 235 to where it advances to before it goes into working mode, and then I'll make this 245. So a 10 millimeter gap, and here you can select the tonnage. Here you can see the range that you can select is between 50 and 6 tons. Return. And then here you can select your dwell time. And then if you go in here, you can select your dwell time, just as easy as entering the other parameters. Return, I'll leave that at 2 seconds. And here you can select what mode you want it to be in. Pulse is the mode you want to be in when you're doing automatic functions. Over here we have the operation for the ejector piston. You can either, for each program, you can turn it on or you can turn it off. I hit the wrong button there, so I'll go disable, and that menu disappears when you have it disabled. If you want to enable it, you then hit the enable button and it comes back on. Here you can select the parameters for advance and return, the tonnage. The tonnage on the ejector is between 0 and 5 tons. And then here you can select your delay, same as on the other, on the main piston. So when you're done, you hit save. It returns, you go home, and you can see you're back in program 1. If you want to change programs, you can do that, and you go home. Well, you go home there, you can see that the program changed. Here, by the clock, you got your part counters, which you can reset. That's for production runs, and then here, this is the real time that the machine actually operated. And down here, you can choose your language. Of course, here in England, we use English, so I have English selected. The other parameters are just technical features that you won't have to worry about.